Footsteps. Michael heard the footsteps now. It must be later than he had realized. Outside the tent, Biggs muttered a curse as he splashed into a puddle, and his boots made obscene little sucking noises in the mud. His bull's-eye lantern glowed through the canvas as he fumbled with the flap, and then he stooped into the tent. "Top of the morning, sir." His tone was cheerful, but he kept it low, out of courtesy to the officers in the neighbouring tents who were not flying this morning. "Wind has gone south-south-west, sir, and she's clearing something lovely, she is. Stars shining out over Cambrai." Biggs set the tray he carried on the packing case and bustled about the tent, picking up the clothing that Michael had dropped on the duckboards the night before. "What time is it?" Michael went through the pantomime of awaking from deep sleep, stretching and yawning, so that Biggs would not know about the hour of terror, so that the legend would not be tarnished. "5:30, sir." Biggs finished folding the clothes away, then came back to hand him the thick china mug of cocoa. "And Lord Killigerran is up and in the mess already." "Bloody man is made of iron," Michael groaned, and Biggs picked the empty whiskey bottle off the floor beneath the cot and placed it on the tray. Michael drained the cocoa, while Biggs worked up a lather in the shaving mug, and then held the polished steel mirror and the lantern while Michael shaved with the straight razor, sitting up in his cot with the blankets over his shoulders. "What's the book?" Michael demanded, his voice nasal as he pinched his own nostrils and lifted the tip of his nose to shave his upper lip. "They're giving 3-1 that you and the Major take them both, with no butcher's bill." Michael wiped the razor while he considered the odds. The sergeant rigger who ran the betting had operated his own book at Ascot and Aintree before the war. He had decided that there was one chance in 3 that either Andrew or Michael, or both of them, would be dead by noon. No butcher's bill, no casualties. "It's steep, don't you think, Biggs?" Michael asked. "I mean, both of them. Damn it." "I've put half a crack on you, sir," Biggs demurred. "Good on you, Biggs. Put on a fiver for me." He pointed to the sovereign case that lay beside his watch, and Biggs pressed out 5 gold coins and pocketed them. Michael always bet on himself. It was a racing certainty. If he lost the bet, it wasn't going to hurt much anyway. Biggs warmed Michael's breeches over the chimney of the lamp, and then held them while Michael dived out from under the blankets into them. He stuffed his nightshirt into the breeches, while Biggs went on with the complicated procedure of dressing his man against the killing cold of flight in an open cockpit. There followed a silk vest over the nightshirt, 2 cable-stitched woolen fisherman's jerseys, then a leather gilet, and finally an army officer's greatcoat with the skirts cut off so that they would not tangle with the controls of the aircraft. By this time Michael was so heavily padded that he could not bend to pull on his own footwear. Biggs knelt in front of him and snugged silk undersocks over his bare feet, then 2 pairs of woolen hunting socks, and finally eased on the tall boots of tanned kudu skin that Michael had had made in Africa. Through their soft, pliable soles, Michael had touch and feel on the rudder bars. When he stood up, his lean, muscular body was dumpy and shapeless under the burden of clothing, and his arms stuck out like the wings of a penguin. Biggs held the flap of the tent open, and then lit his way along the duckboards, through the orchard, towards the mess. As they passed the other darkened tents beneath the apple trees, Michael heard little coughs and stirrings from each. They were all awake, listening to his footsteps pass, fearing for him, perhaps some of them cherishing their relief that it was not they who were going out against the balloons this dawn. Michael paused for a moment as they left the orchard and looked up at the sky. The dark clouds were rolling back into the north, and the stars were pricking through, but already paling out before the threat of dawn. These stars were still strange to Michael. Though he could at last recognize their constellations, they were not like his beloved southern stars, the Great Cross, Egenar, Argus, and the others. So he lowered his gaze and clumped after Biggs and the bobbing lantern. The squadron mess was a ruined labourer's chaumière, which they had commandeered and repainted, covering the tattered thatch with tarpaulin, so that it was snug and warm. Biggs stood aside at the doorway. "I'll have your 15 quid winnings for you when you get back, sir," he murmured. He would never wish Michael good luck, for that was the worst of all possible luck. There was a roaring log fire on the hearth, and Major Lord Andrew Killigerran was seated before it.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.